Seaspiracy people. If you are new here, my name is AZ, and now I just want to say a couple things before we get started, okay? Because I think some of you might have me a little screwed up, okay? Um, First of all, I'm not in a cult, okay? I've never talked to this man before, okay? I appreciate the 193,000 messages I got, people telling me to watch out for Steve. I appreciate everybody looking out. I just want everyone to understand I don't have a ulterior motive here. I'm not trying to help somebody push a narrative. Whatever it is, if you've never been here before, you must not know about me, okay? I will say this, because I'm a fair person. Steve and I have had very few interactions, okay? Very few interactions in a couple of random live chats, right? He's always been respectful to me. I've never had a personal problem with the guy. So when he asked for me to, if I wanted to interview him, I was like, yeah, sure. Because I have a few questions and I know you guys do. Now, another thing I want to just get clear. Hey, everybody. Hey. I want to just make a couple things clear, right? Like, I think some of you might think that, like, I work for the FBI interrogation unit or something. Like, I'm a silly ratchet from Boston who likes to collect crystals and whatnot, and I just like to have fun and laugh, okay? I'm not here to, interrogate Steve. I've gotten some messages where, like, you must ask about this person, and you must do this, and you must do that. Like, let me tell you, I must just ask a few questions. That's really the only thing I'm trying to do here. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have been doing this since somewhere in November, and I've been a friend of Charlotte's, I don't know, since the whole email thing started with her. I have always felt like Nat was involved. I've always had my eye on her. I do not hate the girl. I wish she would stop telling people I hate her. I don't hate her. You know, Steve's whole, like, cult of women, are not, I don't really care for EKC. I don't really care for Tina. I don't really care for them. But, as much as the more I think about things, right, the more I sit back and go, what hardcore evidence am I looking at, right? The more I have a hard time digesting it all. And that's why I'm willing to listen, okay? I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to ask questions. And I'm willing to have a conversation, all right? So I just want to get that out there because I think that some of you are under the impression that I'm here to interrogate a cult leader, okay? And that's not what I'm here to do, okay? If I start lagging, let me know. I'll take the camera off. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. So I'm just a chick trying to ask some questions. So if everybody could just settle down now, that'd be great. Try to be nice in chat. I get the impression that many people are not a fan of Steve, and hey, that's okay, but, like, don't be rude in chat. I don't even think he's probably gonna even look at chat, but just try to be nice. Like, let's just try to be adults here. Before you start asking about Uni, I did ask if Uni was interested. I asked him to come, but I have to respect my guest wishes to have a one-on-one conversation. I know there's this huge rumor going around that I'm going to ambush Steve with Uni, and as much fun as that would be, I don't think my future guests would be, appreciate that. I think that'd be kind of frowned upon as a creator to have your guest ambushed on, right? That's not cool, okay? So that's not gonna happen. I enjoy Uni. People that everybody assumes that I hate all these people. I hate. Like, I don't have space in my heart for that. I just don't. I dislike Katie Joy more than some of you maybe, but, like, hey, that's that. But all right, guys. So as long as we have that understanding, I think that we can bring Steve on now. So let me do that. Hello, Steve.
Well, hi. And first of all, please forgive my voice. It is a little bit shot. So if it's a little bit raspy and a little bit coughy, I will mute when I cough, but it's not usually up to par. But no, you're not in a cult. You didn't fill out the proper paperwork. And if you did, it got rejected. So try again, maybe sometime.
Yeah, next time maybe. But did you bring the Kool-Aid? That's really what I need to know. Like, not grape, cherry, extra sugar, please. Okay. Now, Steve, would you like to start this off with, like, a prayer?
I'm agnostic, so that wouldn't really work very well for me.
I
You
know.
can by all means. I don't mind when people pray, but
No.
not my
I'm
thing.
just joking.
I found it doesn't really work, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The hard way, many times.
All right. Now, before we get into some questions here, right? Why don't you explain to people who might not know you, who you are, what your channel is, just so we have an understanding here.
Sure. So I have a channel. I have a couple different channels. I have the Steve McRae channel, then I have the Great Debate Community channel, and I also had at one time one called the Non Sequitur Show. That is in litigation right now. I basically do mostly videos relating to philosophy, although I started off with more science initially, doing I guess debunking of yard creationism. But mostly right now I do reviews of videos dealing with philosophy. That's about it. I mean, the non sequitur show was a lot more in depth, but we might get into that.
Okay. Now, we're all here to, well, I kind of am here because, this all starts with Katie Joy, right? That's where this all kind of started. Why don't you give a rundown of, your experience with Katie, please?
All right. So in 2017, I started a podcast with a gentleman named Kyle Curtis. I talked him into making into a YouTube channel. That YouTube channel had a lot of success. It basically was doing very well. He decided to take over the channel, steal all the money that was made from the channel. But in the interim, he had invited a bunch of co-hosts on to, I guess, or to replace me. And one of which was Katie Joy. I streamed with her to the best of my recollection twice. I thought it was 3 times. By the way, I'm getting a little echo. Is that on my end?
Let me try to remove my camera and see. Sometimes I have my camera on and see if that sounds any better.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, actually, I think it did. So she was on as a co-host for him, and basically she came on to talk about Jilly Juice, which was a cannabis type juice that a lady was claiming cured everything from AIDS to homosexuality. And apparently, according to her, I somehow said some things that offended her sexually, and she basically accused me of sexual harassment with absolutely no evidence whatsoever. And so I wrote a blog called it was www.greatdebatecommunity.com, and I basically laid out all the evidence how that never possibly happened. My producer was always in the phone calls with us, which was the vMix call that we used to produce the show with, and it just was completely fabricated from beginning to end. And because of that, she decided to try to get a restraining order on me, and I fought that. It got dismissed. Again, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of questions about that, but that's basically my history with her. She started falsely accusing me of fraud, medical fraud, Social Security fraud, tax evasion, and a bunch of other. No, by the way, the echo's still there, so it doesn't really matter about your camera.
Yeah, I don't have
headphones.
I don't
That's
have
okay.
YouTube open, so I don't know how that would be going on my
I think
end.
it's just your headphones, but it's okay. It's not that bad. I can manage.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just let me know if it's too much. We can
No.
start over and leave and come back. All right. So basically, I heard Katie say the other night, like, I don't know if you heard this. It's hard to keep up with all this. Let me tell you, it is hard to keep up. I heard her say the other night, and I really got a chuckle out of it. Like, I don't. Now, excuse my. I'm gonna paraphrase here, okay?
Sure.
I don't recall ever saying Steve sexually harassed me or something along the lines of that. Everybody in the chat was like, "What? Wait a minute, didn't you do that?" Like, it was something along the lines of that, and I thought that was really interesting. Now, I think one thing we can agree on, Steve, is we both find, this is what we have in common, we both find that Katie does lie a lot, correct?
Without question.
Yes, that's the one thing I think we can agree on without even ever really having to talk about it. It's just kind of unspoken.
That's a truth
Right.
That's true in all possible worlds. Yes.
Right. So, all right. First things first. Do you know Natalie Kennett?
I have no idea who Nat is. The first time I ever even saw her was dealing with the Dowdy Westbrook case, and she had, I guess, involved herself with it. And Michael Saltsy, which was the lawyer on the case, decided to bring her in, and another person named Lori Ann, I think it was her name,
Yep.
That to establish residency in Washington, I think was the purpose for that. But
Yes.
that's the only time I even heard her name. I don't know why she thinks she has anything to do with me. I don't know what her relevancy was to me. I've never talked to her. I have no communication with her. From what I understand, she's even said she doesn't have any communication with me until recently. All of a sudden, now that I'm ordering her to do
Right.
things, but no, I've never talked to her. I was going to show you before we went on air, but it got too late. But my last message on Instagram was from 59 weeks ago. I don't
Your
use
last message
Instagram.
in general, 59 weeks ago.
59 weeks ago, except for you, obviously.
Right, right. Yes. So the thing is, it's really interesting, right? What I find with Nat. Now, I've had my finger on her for a while, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't question, a mentally disabled person. How dare you?" And I'm like, "Well, how dare you not? I think everybody, has the right to be questioned where I'm from, anyways." And I find it really interesting that she had a video out that said she didn't even know who you were,
Mm-hmm.
and now all of a sudden she won't denounce the fact that you are in some way, somehow involved, right? I mean, she had no problem denouncing quite a few people. It's not this one, it's not that one, but when it comes to you, she can't answer the question. Why do you think that is?
Well, somebody's obviously wanting her to say that for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Right.
who that is, that's speculative. But if she has any communications from me, then I would like to see them. I know they don't
Right.
exist. I can guarantee it. I have two Instagram accounts, one of which I've talked to you on, and my last
Right.
communication on that was 59 weeks ago, which I'm happy to show you. Which, like I said, I was going to show you off air. And the second one, I have 69 followers on. I'm not following anybody, and I've never had DM'd anybody on it. Matter of fact,
Right.
I even asked people the other day when's the last time I DM'd you? I got no responses.
Okay.
I don't use Instagram. I haven't used Instagram for over a year. So how could I be sending her messages on something that I haven't used in over a year?
Right. I know. I'm a little confused too. I'm a little confused that it went from not knowing you to all of a sudden, you're some kind of a ringleader, and I found that really interesting. And her excuse for that was, she was reading from a script and etc. She didn't want to say that. She was told to say that, and she sounds rather scared when it comes to a few people. Now, okay. So I had to, as I'm sure you're aware, I had to take a step. Well, hold on. Before I get too far ahead, I need to know the answer to this before we go anywhere.
Sure.
Why, of all people, why did you ask me to talk? I'm
I did.
curious.
I knew you were going to ask me that too. By the way, just so it's on record, I did tell you you can ask me any question you wish to ask me. Correct?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yep,
so it's a free for all. You
for
can ask
sure.
me anything you like. The reason being is okay, there's a couple different reasons. I have listened to some of your things. I don't always agree with you. As you said, I've always had a cordial experience with you. The very few times we've interacted, it's been cordial. You didn't ever come after me personally. And
No.
this is a big deal with me. There's a lot of people that disagree with me. There's a lot of people that I just personally do not like, right? I mean, I can safely say that I detest them. And they actually have gone after me and people that I care about. And I draw the line in the sand. If they can disagree with me all they want, they can say that I'm wrong. They can think that they proved me wrong. That doesn't matter. When they go after me and people I care about, that's where I draw the line. You never went after me. You never did anything against me personally. And I watched one of your videos just a while back, and you were saying things like, you're willing to listen. You're willing to see the evidence. You've never had any bad experience with me. And I thought to
Right.
myself, okay, if I actually send her evidence, which by the way, I did send you a lot. I don't know if you have a chance to even look it over. And I've sent you
I
things that I've
know.
sent no other person, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
My daughter's been sick and we were in the hospital all day and I've been
I'm sorry to hear
literally
that.
running. Yeah, she'll be all right. It's nothing, not a huge deal, but I have been running amok all day. But here's the thing. I know you sent me like legal documents or whatever, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you trusting me with these things, but like you could understand, I am not a legal professional. I don't know how to read this and say, this person, is telling the truth, this person's not. Like as much as I appreciate that, like I am not the person for that, to talk about it on air, let's say. I'd just rather not. I
I
mean,
totally get
I
it.
did
Yep.
I did see some things that, were eyebrow raising because I thought they didn't exist or whatever, but I don't really want to go down that avenue, and that's kind of my own personal opinion. I know you had nothing to do with you sent me a ton of stuff. I literally haven't even been able to go through all of it.
No,
This is
that's
where I'm
perfectly
at.
fine.
Yeah.
But it's on record that I'm willing to share with you anything that you would like to see.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this too, because I know last night, you know, Uni Rock is he's an interesting person, and he was really interested in talking to you. Is there a reason you won't talk to Uni Rock?
Yeah,
What's the
there's
story?
two reasons. One, I know it annoys the hell out of him that I won't talk to him. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
reason right there. It just annoys the hell out of him. Two, he's actually affected people that I care about, and so he has crossed that line. He's not somebody that I'll ever be in a conversation with. You
Mm-hmm.
don't be in conversations with people that there's no use to having a conversation with them. My channel's set up to be basically people come in, we have discussions. I interview numerous people that have academic qualifications. I've interviewed some pretty well-known people, and we have conversations. Why would I ever want to talk to somebody that I already know is dishonest, that I already know is a LARPer, that has no interest in the truth whatsoever? What possible good would be doing to me or anybody else, especially when we know he has actively for a year now made how many videos about me? And I don't watch, but I'm his entire livelihood. I mean, he
Well,
literally, like, how many videos have he made about me?
at
So
one
I
point,
don't
you guys were
watch him.
cool at one point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why we weren't is because he was going to go on air with some misinformation, and me and Golden Unicorn were trying to get on his Discord to let him know that was incorrect. He didn't care. And he actually told me, I just spew whatever talk I want to talk about the top of my head, and I'll fix it later if needs to be. It doesn't matter. People will listen. If you want to make a response video, if I'm wrong, and we just go back and forth. And I was like, I don't play that game. You are putting out
Yeah.
misinformation willfully. No, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I went on my channel. I had a video about that. He came on. He was a bull in a china shop. It was the first time I've ever, in the 7 years I've been on YouTube. Well, I guess back then it's been 6 or whatever. But I had to take my headphones off. He was so annoying and so belligerent. I couldn't stand having anything to do with him because he was blatantly lying to his audience. And I was like, I don't need this. And so I just distanced myself from him. And Going Unicorn was right there. Saw everything he was saying, that he didn't care. He is a LARPer, right? And he puts out misinformation only to run his story. That's it. And that's it. Fine. It's a shtick. He can do that to his subscribers if he wants to. I'm not like that on my channel. We go by facts.
Okay. And I have a question here. Didn't Steve say he was inviting Uni onto his stream last night? So
Yes.
which one is true?
I invited him on my stream last night to talk to Cheshire. I was not going to be there.
Okay. Now you mentioned people you care about, right? I've heard you say that twice.
Mm-hmm.
When you say that, I mean, who exactly are you referring to? Just so we're clear.
Reg Rhetoric, Cheshire, Manya, Sweet Heathen. I don't want to. There's a whole. I can't name everybody because they'd be like, "Well, you don't care about me."
Oh,
Steve.
yeah. True. Did you see the evidence last night of like Dottie supposedly talking with Little Miss Noble about Nat and editing the audio? Did you see that?
No, because here's the thing. I don't know who Little Miss Noble is either. Matter of fact, somebody had mentioned her name, her actual name. I still had no idea who the hell they were talking about. I've never had a conversation with her either, and I don't. And Dottie, I think I've only talked to maybe 3 times. And
Dottie was on. Yeah, she was on
last
your channel
night.
Last night. You've only talked to her a couple times. Oh.
Yeah, I don't talk to her that much. I mean, nothing against her. It's just we don't really communicate that much.
Yeah, me either. She doesn't like my mixtape. That's
all
right.
I mean, what's your mixtape?
Well, Dottie had a moment a couple weeks ago where she just freaked out, and I thought it was funny, and not laughing at her pain, just laughing in general. So I put it on a hot beat, and I made a dance tape, and I don't think she's too happy with me right now. So
a lot of people aren't happy with both of us right now. I have people in my camp that are not thrilled. But here's what I told them. I said, look, I don't survive in an echo chamber. I'm not against going on people's channels. I just want to have a fair interlocutor. I want to have a fair person that I'm having a discussion with. And even though, as you well know, they're not fans of yours,
right.
I told them, I said, look, I'm going to give her a fair chance because she's never done anything against me personally. And they accepted that. They weren't happy about it, but
yeah, I have quite a few people that aren't happy. I'm telling you, man. You have some people. I have people I've never even heard of. Like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't, like, literally. I'm like, what? Gotta be second guessing myself. I'm like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, no. Like, this is my channel. And then I have people like, you must talk about this, and you must talk about that, and you must. I'm like, I mustn't do nothing besides what I want to do on my own channel.
It's funny you say that because that's one of the reasons why I distanced myself from a group of people that wanted me to run my channel their way. They were just vile, morally reprehensible people that I wanted nothing to do with. And I kept, I tell people, look, I run my channel the way I want. I have on who I want, when I want, why I want, and I don't have to explain that to a goddamn person. That's it. And if
Right.
it loses me subs, that's completely fine with me. I can have
Right.
35 people watching a math video that I do, and I'm thrilled with that, you
Yeah.
know?
So what is your theory behind what's going on? Can you explain what you think is going on with all of this stuff and Katie pointing fingers and whatnot? Can you just give me your theory about what is going on right now?
It's pure conjecture. I mean, Salsi had asked me the same question, and I basically just said, whoever's behind all this is not doing it for any other purpose but themselves. It's not to benefit, Katie. It's not to benefit me or anybody like that. It is some. I said to him, I thought it was somebody young, some young people like trolls,
Right.
or at least mentally young.
Because yeah, Steve, I mean, as much as like I know, you're a debater, you get into it with people. Like as much as I know that you are used to having heated conversations with people, right?
Mhm.
I just can't now. Hey, I could be wrong because I am not the oracle. Okay, I don't think that you would be stupid enough to threaten somebody who's, has mental disabilities under your own account. Now that's a pretty strong accusation. Oh,
I
we
would do
know
it on
it's him.
any account. I look.
Right.
I'm.
So like, yeah.
People that have mental health issues. Those are the people that need to be protected. Those are the people that we try to foster as a community. That people that need those kind of help. And in fact, it's bit us in the ass because we've tried to help people before and we've gotten screwed over it many times.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Do
Mhm.
you think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you think that because you have a long-standing history with Katie, right? Do you think that maybe, just maybe, Nat knows that and is trying to be like, well, maybe if I just blame him, it'll take the heat off me? Do you think that that's kind of what's going on here?
If that's the case, then it's relatively new because I even told Saul, whoever's behind all this doesn't even really know who I am until recently. Just recently, somebody had gone to my Facebook page, found a picture of one of my ex-girlfriends from college by the name Tina, mistakenly thinking that was Tina, I'll cut you. So
Right.
who and it was, I'm not going to say it was Nat, but I can tell you that the language was very similar. But now so they do know who I am now, but they didn't before. I was like, if this was like Katie's doing, they would have been after me a lot harder, and they weren't. They weren't. I didn't really have any of this stuff happen to me. I didn't have death threats. I didn't have people. I mean, I have the normal people harassing me, but they've been doing that for 5 years. You know.
Right.
So yeah,
Can't.
I think that somebody had told her about me, and all of a sudden I became part of that circle
Right.
over there for some reason.
Because Katie seems pretty dead set on it's you, right? Now, Karen, real quick, I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat, Karen. I don't know if you missed the beginning, but I kind of gave like a I asked him for a quick explanation of kind of how this started with Katie. I appreciate your super chat, but I kind of already asked that. He kind of explained, she accused him of some things and they didn't see eye to eye on it. So I appreciate that, but we already kind of went
Would
over
you do
that
this for
one.
me? Could you give her? I mean, and you put in the video description. You don't have to link to my channel. I don't give a shit about any
Hmm.
of that. My blog is my outlet, and
Right.
so if you want, if she
Yes.
wants my
Okay.
blog, I have the Me Too
I
part
can
one and
I
part
can do
two.
that.
That will give her all her
No
answers.
problem.
Because
No
I
problem.
just want that out there. I don't care about the
Right.
views. I don't even want it on my channel. I want to do science and philosophy, but unfortunately, being on YouTube, it's pervasive. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm. So the next one I have here for you now, I just want to make something clear because I get a lot of questions, right? Some of them are from people I've never heard of before who
That's
want to
fine.
know about things that I don't know about. So
Sure.
I kind of am going to go through a list of people that are my subscribers and then we'll work our way there if we have time because, we might not. So,
Yeah,
do you
we
know,
did try to keep this to an hour. So,
we
but
did, we
yeah.
did. Do you know Dustin, which is like LMN's other half or
I have
whatever?
never heard of that name until I would say a couple weeks ago.
So the only people that you know who are being accused of having something to do with this is what? EKC and Tina and kinda Dottie,
Cheshire,
anybody. Cheshire,
myself,
yep.
who else? Well, that's kind of it. I mean, somebody had actually told me that Dustin was working for the FBI. I don't. That's the only thing I've heard.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true
I'd never
because,
heard him. Has he been on a stream before?
I just heard his voice for the first time last night on a recorded thing with Little Miss Noble. It was really late. It's hard for me to even remember exactly what he said, but it was trying to tell Nat something. I remember that. But yeah, so do you think that you are becoming like I like to call it an scapegoat, even though it's scapegoat.
Well, I mean, only on
The
YouTube.
Office.
I mean,
Do you think you're becoming that, Steve?
I think that's what they're trying to do. That's Uni's and Katie's narrative, but of course that requires evidence, and there's no evidence for that. There's zero evidence.
Did you talk to the FBI, Steve?
I have never talked to the FBI. Matter of
You were
fact,
in Boston talking to the FBI?
No, matter of fact, it's funny. You want to know the story on that? I'm sure you do. So my hotel was the DoubleTree in Chelsea that was up there, and I've been traveling. If you look at the map, look about half a block, not even that. I mean, literally across the street, there's the FBI building. And so I was like, I'm going to take a picture of me with that FBI building, and people are going to freak the fuck out. But can I say fuck?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to offend anybody. Yeah, so that's all it was.
Okay. So Valerie has a question. I am interested in Steve's interactions with Kay Baxter in deleted posts. Do you know anything about that?
Kay Baxter is that Kay Opinionated?
Kay Baxter is the one that had little Miss Noble on.
Yeah, Kay Opinionated, right? I don't think I've ever interacted with her until like after that stream. I was on Twitter and I was like, you had these people on that were allowed to basically go uninhibited from their accusations, and you didn't give any pushback. And she said that she did ask them for evidence, and I was like, well, if you did, it wasn't very strong because they didn't provide any. Here on my channel, if you make an accusation, you make an assertion, you make a claim, that needs to have some kind of substantial evidence to at least justify it. I don't know if you watched the stream that I had last night. It's 6 hours. It's very long. One of the reasons why my voice is screwed.
Right. I watched the first couple. I did. Yes.
It's long.
First
it's good.
2 hours. Yeah.
But one of the things I pointed out is that, look, everybody has opinions, but under those opinions, you have visceral, you have visceral with some kind of justification. You've got weak and you got strong. Where strong would be, hey, look, I have a fact. 1 + 1 = 2 is a strong opinion. It's factual, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
People also have opinions where like, I think it's this, maybe, but I don't really have any good reasons for it. That's fine. What I see happening is you have content creators who put out opinions based on only visceral or weak evidence as fact.
Right.
And that's what I don't do on my channel. I don't allow that. And it's Kay Benita did. I don't. And her part 2 of that question, I don't know what she meant by deleting post.
Okay. So Kay Baxter kind of has said a couple times, like, especially with Nat, like, we don't have proof for that, but maybe not to your standards, but she has kind of a little bit said she needed a little more evidence. Now, when I left her stream after Katie joined, especially, I have this phrase, my subscribers know, flip my desk over, right? I was like, what is real anymore? Like, I don't know if I think you might have heard that. That's the one you commented on.
Yeah, that was one. I watched a few videos, and that was
I was
one
like,
of them,
what is even real anymore? Because it sounded to me, right? Especially after my friend Jennifer got blamed and absolutely had nothing to do with it. I was like, okay, if she's willing to blame Jennifer, then how can I believe anything else at this point? What am I even going by if I do believe everything else? And I started to question everything, right? Which, maybe a little late to the party, but I don't know. It's very, what has happened is so hard to keep up with and explain to everybody. But if you've been here, you've been here, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't even know, because you can show me screenshots all day, right? You could show me screenshots all day and say it's definitely this person and definitely that person, but I don't know that, I don't know that. And as much as I do like Uni, I like oddball people, I'm an oddball person, but like as much as I see screenshots, it's very hard for me to go, okay, is that even real? Because I've seen screenshots inside of a declaration that definitely weren't real, and I feel confident saying that. So it's really frustrating to me, and that's part of the reason why I'm willing to even talk to you, because at this point, because I think Katie, the more she talks, the more we all, at least from what I understand, are starting to go, I don't know about all this. Like, it's almost like she's burying herself, it seems.
I was willing to show you actual emails that, from people, my correspondence, even with my lawyer. That's not fake, obviously, right? So I'm willing to share evidence. I just don't do it publicly. And the reason being is I have a longstanding policy. Anything shared with me private stays private unless there's permission to show publicly. There's occasionally where I will have to show people privately other people's things, and I understand that. But I do not make private communications public. People know they can come to me, and I do not reveal my sources. I don't play that game. There's not one person out there that have said, oh, I DM'd Steve and he was just throwing my DMs everywhere. There's a reason for that. It's a personal thing with me. Now, not everybody's like that. I understand that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I was willing to share with you some very private communications with my attorney, proving to you without a shadow of a doubt that everything I've said about a certain claim was true, right? So,
Right.
you
And
know,
I have no problem taking a look at them after and giving my opinion on it,
I would
but
love that. I would love that.
I have no problem doing that. I apologize, I did not have time today,
It's
but
okay.
I have
No, I
no,
know.
and
Of course.
as long as everyone knows I am definitely no Emily D. Vega, then we're all good. But so
I
before,
would
because
let her look at him too, by the way.
oh, actually, that would be really cool if
Right
she
now,
would.
she doesn't want to have anything to do with me or the
I
Non
don't
Sequitur
blame
show,
her.
and I don't know, which is
Well, I
fine.
don't
I
blame
think
her.
she's great for what she does.
This whole thing is really messy, and I think that's why a lot of people think I'm crazy. Because here, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, why would you even? I'm like, well, I've gotten my arm so deep in this that like I just want to know what's real and what's
I think
not at
everybody
this point,
does. I
you
think people
know.
deserve
And
to.
nobody's gonna shut up until we get that answer. It's just not gonna happen. So Jane, I'm sorry, Jane. Thank you for your super chat. Can you explain your involvement with the spat between WACB and LB?
That'd probably take a whole different show, but I'll try. So I got in touch with LEB. Matter of fact, I believe it was Kim, if I'm not mistaken, that gave me her information, because she and Katie were both commentators, right? They both were sharing a lot of the same subject matter, and I had found out that Katie had been harassing her and trying to shut down her channel, much like she had did to me, by asking for people for trolls to go mass flag. Now, this was during Christmas, and I'm going to call her Leslie's, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I know where it's at.
All right. So Leslie's channel was shut down. I don't know the exact reasons. I thought at the time that it was because it was due to a copyright strike. I'm not positive of that. I asked her for an email that she says she had got from YouTube that I could try to see if I can figure out if it wasn't actually from email or if somebody may have misled her. I don't think she fabricated anything. Matter of fact, I haven't talked to Leslie in a long time, and I really wish she would have communicated with me more, but she didn't. But I don't think she fabricated anything. I think one of two things happened. Either it was a legit strike from something that she did, and somebody may have tried to send her some bad email or some fake stuff, right? Because we know that happens nowadays, right?
That's happened to me, and I thought it was legit.
Right, exactly, right. And
yeah.
and we know that has been happening in the community. And I don't think, and again, Leslie has to talk for herself, but I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I don't think she knew how to handle that. I think she took it as seriously, but I don't know if she, may have gotten an email not recognizing it was fake, because there was some inconsistencies. And I begged her, show me this email. Now, I will say it for a record, I adore her sister. Flossie is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my entire life. And out of respect for her, I just, kind of distanced myself from Leslie. However, people have been trying to get me and Leslie to talk again. I'm not against that. I would like to know why she didn't show me that email. I really would like to show it, because I have. And by the way, Leslie, I know you're watching because you have a thing on the screen. I've never shown her DMs to anybody, right? I've never made them public. I could, right? But I wouldn't have, obviously, because I have that policy. But she knows what I said to her in those DMs. She knows how much I begged for her to send me that email. I was like, look, please. And then she went on her, channel saying, oh, Steve's harassing me for this email. Well, it was kind of important because I stuck my neck out for her because I did a fundraiser for her, right? That's the reason why. Right. And I understand she was grieving. But by the way, I was the one that actually told people, look, let Leslie come to you on your own time. Ask Leslie what she thinks should be done on some of this stuff, because of that very reason. Right. But Flossie was grieving as well. And Flossie wanted answers. And I made a promise to her. I would try to get to the bottom of things. And I've kept that promise. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to discover the actual facts of the matter. Flossie says she thinks she understands exactly what happened. And that was good enough for her. And I just dropped it after that. If it was good enough for her, Flossie was my only consideration because I adore her. And that's all that mattered to me. That was it. It wasn't my reputation that mattered at that point. It was Flossie satisfied with the information she got? And supposedly she was.
Thank you, Susan, for the super sticker.
I told you that could take a whole different show, right?
Well, I already knew that before I came into it. Like, it's fine. We're here to talk. It's whatever. So
does that match what you know then? Because you said before,
it does. It matches what I know thus far. Here's what people need to understand, right? And I knew that this was going to be a problem from the jump, right? I don't know everything that's gone on. I don't. And I can't sit here and say that I know this and I know that, because I don't. And that at the end of the day, there's not enough hours in the day for me to have caught up on everything.
Right.
That story was a while ago. I remember kind of sort of following it when it came out, but I don't, people, what do you want from me? I'm just like, I don't
It
know.
goes. It's a deep
Some people
stuff.
are like, yeah, like you got to know about this, you got to know about that, and I'm like, do I really though? I'm just here to ask some questions. But
I will say this on your channel. If Elle ever reaches out to me, I will accept her reach out, and she will know that anything she says to me will remain as private as her communications has been to thus far.
all right, so community
So
medium says, and I knew this was going to be a hot button thing, and I know some people, like, I saw someone didn't want to hear about it, but I think some of these questions do need to be asked because I know it's a hot button issue. So it says, no, Elle didn't fabricate them because you did. Now, let me ask you this, Steve, right? I remember, now I am dusty, but I remember you had something go on with, like, Picasso on your computer, and then Uni said he saw it in the
I know
metadata, right?
Picasso
Right?
it's a graphic program that organizes pictures. That's
Yep.
all it does.
I know. And then so I watched his video and I remember commenting. I
Mm-hmm.
remember going, that's really interesting. And I think it was the first time I ever had an interaction with you. You were like, well, ask him for the proof of the
Right.
metadata. And I was like, well, that's a really good point. He didn't even show that. So has he ever showed the metadata proof?
I don't know how you're using the term metadata. Okay, metadata means like the time the photograph was stamped, right? Something like that.
Right, and it
That's
also
metadata,
means
right?
he also knows it came from Picasso or whatever. Not
I
everybody
don't know how
has
that.
that
I don't know
program.
how. I don't know how what that even means. Picasso is a photo organizing program, not a photo manipulation program. I don't even use Photoshop. I'm still trying to figure out GIMP, and I suck at it. That's why I have a Cheshire.
Oh boy.
You've seen my thumbnails. Does it look like I know how to do freaking manipulations? No.
Canva, you need Canva. Canva's where it's at.
I actually do use Canva for like intros, but I'm not very good at it. But see that person though, before the one you had before, they said, "Oh, you did. Okay, great. Show me the evidence for that, and I will address that. I would love to, but I never
Right.
seen any of that because
I
it never
don't
happened.
recall.
I
At
will
the
tell
time,
you that
I
never
don't
happened.
recall either. Yeah.
Oh, it's called
So
Picasa, by the way. I think.
I'm sorry, Picasso. I apologize.
Yeah.
Stacy says, "Why did Nat choose you? Why do you think about? What do you think about the videos that a few confirmed to have seen what they still support, to
Uh,
have seen when they still supported Nat?
I don't know what she means by Nat choose me. Nat didn't.
Well,
Nat
why did Nat?
out of 2 weeks ago, I don't think Nat even knew who the hell I was. Like 2-3 weeks ago, she did not have any clue who the hell I was because she had said
Yeah.
I'd never talked to Steve. I don't, now again, we're not dealing with a mentally well person here, right? So I don't know again who she is. I know she's from the UK. I've heard her talk once or twice, and I think the most I've heard her talk was on Kay's channel, and it was odd. Her cadence is off. Her way she
Yeah.
responds to things was off. It doesn't sound like a normal person to me, and I don't mean that as not mentally unwell. I mean it's like somebody pretending to be somebody else, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, or taking direction from
Or
somebody
taking
else.
direction, or looking,
Yeah.
what do you want me to say here, kind of stuff. And again, that's speculation, and I admit that.
Yeah.
It's my,
And here's what we need to
it's a feeling that I
understand.
got.
Yeah, no, I understand. And here's what we need to understand. Like, okay, when everybody said, when she didn't know you, right? Nobody really believed her. And now she says she knows you, and it's like, oh, this is the answer. We have our answer now. So I thought that was kind of odd because is this the answer because it's the real answer, or is it the answer because people want? Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm beginning to ask myself. I think.
Well, how does she know me? How does she say? Oh, yeah. How does she say she knows me? Because I have no idea who this person Nat is.
Yeah, she would not denounce you. She had no problem denouncing other people. It was really weird. For example, somebody asked her, well, is Swanson involved? And she said, I can't answer that. Just
Involved
like
with
she
what?
said with you.
What does that mean by that? Involved with Swanson? Swanson has he does have an investigation going on. That's a fact, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, according yeah. Well, I mean, he's communicating with me. He's told me there's an FBI investigation.
Okay, so you
and I will show you. I will show you that correspondence in private. But yeah, I mean, I believe him. I have no reason to doubt him on that. And the reason why I don't doubt him on that is because I have to look at it like the position of, look, here is a notable attorney that has had death threats to him and his family. Whether credible or not is irrelevant. They have to be investigated. They have to be. He would be derelict not to have that investigated. So when he was asking me, my opinion on certain things, and he said, if I had anything towards the information that he relayed to the FBI. And I told him exactly what I told you. I don't have any clue who these people are. I think they're all sociopaths, that ones I've listened to, but I think it's just somebody doing it for themselves. I don't see any real core substance there. It's like somebody's doing something just to screw with people, one or two people. Right. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. And that is my personal unjustified opinion, by the way.
He said he doesn't know LMN.
Oh wait, did you say Swanson or Salsy, by the way?
Oh no, I said Swanson.
Oh no, I've never talked to Swanson. I thought you said Salsy.
Oh God, okay. I'm like, interesting.
My bad.
I said Swanson. No, that's okay. So you were talking about Salty. Okay.
I was talking about Salsy.
I know their names are similar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even know. Look, I know so little about Toddy Westbrook and all that. I don't follow any of those. So
you did not try to insert yourself into the Toddy Westbrook lawsuit?
I did communicate with Salsy about it. And he said if he needed anything, he would contact me. He did. He talked about my lawsuit with Kyle. And he was very, very commensurate. He seemed really concerned. Well, not concerned, I guess. What's a good word? He seemed, the fact that it's been taking so long with the whole non sequitur case, he felt empathetic, I guess would be the best way to put it. Because he was just like, sorry, the court system, it's kind of slow kind of thing. But he was glad that things have been moving on. And he asked me, what's the latest with Kyle? Because I hear there's some new movement. And I told him, well, yeah, he's going to be arrested.
Oh boy. Steve, why do you think that people call you a cult leader? Why do you think they call you that?
I would say that probably because I do have a lot of people that have been around for a very long time. My channel started in 2013, and when they come to me for evidence, they get evidence. And I think that builds up a little bit of trust and loyalty because they know that if they ever want information, they can get it from me directly. That's why the people that have been trying to run these scripts, they don't really succeed with people that have been around for a very long time, because every one of my subscribers or followers or Patreons or whatever can tell you, hey, I've gone to Steve. I've asked him questions. He's answered them directly. He's shown me the evidence. Every single one of them will tell you that. Every single time. I would love to find one Patreon or subscriber that I've communicated with that has said, Steve didn't show me anything. I don't think that would even exist.
Okay. Do you understand why some people call you a cult leader at all? Do you understand that? Do you understand why?
Oh, I think it's just a complete LARP.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a LARP. It's a comical to me. It's just comic. It's just somebody saying, "Oh, look, here's somebody who has some kind of popularity on YouTube. Therefore, we're going to call him a cult leader." When they don't even understand that term, obviously.
Okay, I'm going to explain to you why some of us thought it was semi-plausible. Okay,
sure.
Well, in my opinion,
it's
from my perspective.
It's
okay,
it's the hair.
Listen. Well, obviously the hair. You already knew
clearly.
I was going to say that.
I knew that.
Definitely the hair. Not going to say that's not. Second to the hair, it's the fact that the people that are implicated, is people from your inner circle, correct?
What
and have been implicated.
Implicated by what?
As far as getting involving themselves in the lawsuit, as far as
who was involved in the lawsuit?
Being. You don't. I'm talking about EKC, okay? I'm talking about Dottie, who the proof I saw from Dottie last night is still a screenshot, but so all these people who at Tina, all these people that everybody's pointing to, right? You're there with them.
Well, I hang out with a lot of people.
Do you see why people say that, though?
Well, no, because I don't think Tina had anything whatsoever to do with the Swanson Toddy lawsuit. And I don't remember Aaron having anything to do with it either. Only people
I'm telling you what people are saying.
Well, people could say all kinds of stuff. Let's look at the facts. The only people that I associate with, and I don't even know who their like their real identity or like that. The only person I've ever communicated like that, like I'm Rankin, she was part of that supposedly. Let's see.
I don't know what happened to Rankin.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her for quite some time actually. Now that I think about it, let me think. Who was actually involved in that lawsuit? Lori Ann. Nat, right? I think Kim. I think she did a declaration, didn't she?
Yep, Kim Fulmer. Yep.
Yeah, Kim F.
Do you know Kim F?
I do, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. See how the people are being implicated. They're all in some way, shape, or form, whether they're guilty, not guilty, whatever it may be. It all comes back to knowing you. So I think that's why everybody points to you. Now, whether
Uh,
the evidence, wait a minute, whether the evidence is real, whether the evidence is fake, those who are being pointed at, right? Without mincing hairs about why they're being pointed at, they are all in some way, shape, or form connected to you. So that's why I can kind of see why people do that. But again, when we look at the actual evidence, it consists of screenshots, which aren't really evidence nowadays. So it's hard to. I get everybody's perspective at this point. Yours, theirs, everybody's. I get Uni's, I get yours, and I just get it all. At this point, I
do
don't
you
know what to believe.
do you know who also they're connected to?
Katie.
Katie, right? And by the way, fun fact: Tina and Kim are not fans of Katie. Neither is Leslie.
True story.
And
True
so,
story.
I mean, if you want to talk about somebody who's a cult leader, who studied cults, who wrote about cults, just
Interesting.
saying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it means
Interesting
to be a cult
point.
leader. I can tell you right now, and people that are in my inner circle, they don't do fuck all for me. Okay, I have to fight to get a damn thumbnail for my videos. So yeah, I mean, none of these people come forward and said, "Oh, look, Steve's told me to do this or asked me to do that." That's never happened. I've never sat
Right.
in Discord with these people. I hate Discord. I'm on it only because Cheshire's on it. So Red's Rhetoric doesn't even have a Red. Somebody had said that I had a super secret Discord group with like Red's Rhetoric, Dottie, Aaron, and Tina and Cheshire. And I'm like, wait a minute, Red's Rhetoric doesn't even have a Discord. He hates it like me. Dottie, I think twice I've been in maybe Discord with her. It was with Cheshire. I don't. I've never been in Discord with Aaron. Well, I think one time she said that we were last night that I don't remember. Tina, I've never been in Discord with. So,
All
I
right.
mean, it's just nonsense.
Karen says Nat didn't choose Steve. Nat is a liar. Katie is a liar. It's all lies, in my opinion. And then Susan says, thank you very much, Karen. Susan, thank you. It says, how does Salt know Steve and needed to reach out to Steve? Why did he want to chat with you?
He's aware of who I am. People have brought my name up to him. He knows that I know Katie. This was a
What was his
lawsuit.
initial reason for reaching out to you? I think is I think that's what she's trying to ask. I don't know.
He had asked me about my TRO with her.
Okay. That TRO, man, that is a hot button
I
issue.
think that's the first thing he
Let's
ever
get
asked me.
Yeah. Can you? All right. No, I haven't even had a full chance to even look at this, so I don't want to dive too much into that. I
Mhm.
will relook at it and make a video if everybody wants me to. Question from Can't We Just Get Along? Love your name. All right. Question. KJ shared receipts of you accusing her of trying to steal your channel and helping steal $60,000 from you, but you denied ever saying this, which is true. By
Where
the
was
way,
his
not a
receipts?
KJ fan.
Yeah, I've never seen receipts of that. I've never accused her of that. Matter of fact, I made it very clear that it was Kyle Curtis who stole the money, and that Kyle Curtis is the one that stole the channel. I never. Matter of fact, if you read my blog from what 2000, when I write that blog,
Yeah,
2019.
I'll share the links from the blog so
I
people
made it
can
very
write down.
clear that it was Kyle Curtis, and what I said was Katie was falsely accusing me of things, which was a problem because here I have a partner, a business partner that I'm taking to court, and she's falsely accusing me of fraud, medical fraud, tax evasion, collecting Social Security, which I've never collected, disability, which I've never collected, and that does obfuscate things. And so, do I think that she indirectly was helping Kyle? Yeah, absolutely. But she apologized that and retracted that. But I have never once have said that she tried to steal my channel or she stole a dime from me. And she has instant messages, or something, not instant messages, Twitter things that say, "Oh, Steve accused me of stealing money." Okay, great. Where is this? That's never happened. I never said she's never stole a dime from me. It was all. What was it? What is there to steal? It was all Kyle. Kyle took every dime.
Today I tried to make a flowchart. I'm a visual person. I am like an abstract artist kind of visual person, right? And I was trying to make a flowchart about who's connected, who's allegedly connected, who's not, this, that, and the other thing. And I came across a pattern that I really never thought about before, and it was this, right? So Kyle is your ex-business partner.
Yes.
Swanson is Tati's ex-business partner. I was like, interesting how that works. Like the two biggest people she's had problems with, you, Tati, whatever. You both have an ex-business partner, which I never really put much thought into before because nobody really talks about Swanson, for one, not that much anyways, only when we were reading documents or whatever. But from what I understand, I've heard whispers about him having something to do. He's actually the ringleader, and it's just like ridiculous. I can't believe the amount of people who are like, AZ's in a cult now. I can't even believe she's having him on, like all because I'm having a freaking one-on-one interview. Like
because they don't
people,
they don't want you
yo,
to.
my Instagram box is still blowing up right now. People like, I can't believe you're doing this.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of weird because again, my channel's set up for these types of conversations, right? And we had somebody come on I never even heard of before last night, and she had never been in a hangout either, I don't think, and she actually within like an hour felt more welcome than she probably would have anywhere else. We want people to have conversations. We want to talk about certain things, right? But a lot of people don't want people to have the truth. And when I've offered you to have, my emails or any evidence you want to see, I think that scares people. Because what happens when people see evidence and they're honest people, they go, shit, Steve was telling the truth.
To be fair, I did get them literally right before this live.
I know.
I didn't have much time. So
yeah.
not that I will say I'm not a legal expert, that's for sure. But like, I don't really want to dive into it. I don't have a complete understanding, so I can't. But I didn't have much time. But like I said, can make a video for my opinion. I don't have a problem doing that as long as I'll
do it. I didn't really want to do it on my channel, but I guess I'm going to have to eventually. I mean, I have a lot of stuff I've never shown anybody, but I guess it's about time that I do.
So what was the question I had here? The next one up on the list was, okay, I don't know who asked this, but it's on my list here. How did Katie get the harassment prevention order if you didn't harass her?
Okay, so all you have to do for a TRO is give an affidavit. It's called ex parte, meaning there's no lawyers involved. It's done without judgments. Right. So it's just done.
A judge has to agree to it, right?
A judge has to look at the affidavit and says this affidavit is sufficient. I went over her affidavit. Erin went over her affidavit. Her affidavit did not match her evidence. I mean, she claimed that I was literally in a room with her that harassed her. I've never been in her state.
Has she ever showed the paperwork from that?
She's never. I have. I have all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've showed.
So I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
So has Katie ever showed from her side though?
None. And like I said, I've offered to show all my correspondences with you with my attorney, and some other people that might want to see it. She will never do that.
Jane Grey. I'm sorry, I have a funny. All the women on Steve's last video were sister wives. Oh my god.
I don't think they get along that well.
Oh god.
I don't think some of them actually got along. I mean, there's a lot of interpersonal. I mean, it's just so funny because the people that I deal with the most are, Cheshire, because she's my co-host for Monday show, what we do called Justice Call. But other than that, I don't think people realize how little I actually communicate with those people. That's why I had that summit. What do they think we do? Just sit around and talk all day long? The only person I really have ever done that with is Cheshire, because she's my co-host.
I think that people think that secret hidden, gold member status Facebook group was, kind of a group to plot all of these, little adventures. I think that is what people think. What do you have to say about that?
What can you repeat that?
There was a group, right? On Facebook.
Yes.
It was Tina's group, I believe.
Yes. Well, it's Ashley Sirens. She left, and
where
then I
you
took
had
over
a
and
post,
her.
right?
Yeah.
Now, last night, Uni was going wild. He was making noises and just losing his mind. It's so funny. But he was reading a post from you, right? That he was like, this is the words of a cult leader. And I don't know. I struggle with this because, I mean, if you're telling somebody it's the words of a cult leader, it sounds cultish, definitely. But it also sounds like somebody who was concerned that, just warning people. I mean, we've all
about
kind
the
of
safety
warned each
thing?
other.
Oh, because I've had people, obviously go after people that I care about, like I said. And in that Facebook group, I mean, I know you're not a fan of that Facebook group. Well, let me tell you what it was. When Ashley Siren made that group, she only had it for, I think, a day or two. She left it. I requested from Facebook to take it over, and I did. I made Tina an admin, and then I gave it to her. And so she wanted to have a repository of basically just things that Katie said. She wanted to make sure that nobody came in, would make these obscene posts, take screenshots of them, and then use them as a weapon, saying, oh, look, this is the Facebook group that's doing all this stuff, right? Which was happening. Right. So she locked it down. Now, I wanted to be public. I wanted that Facebook group to be public. However, Facebook, in their infinite wisdom, for some reason, once something's in a private Facebook group, you can't make it public, which sucks.
Right.
So, but
So
what it was
you're saying you can't turn a private Facebook group into a public one?
we could not figure out how to do it. And when I read is you can't, because I wanted to. I
Hmm.
wanted to make it public. Why not? Right.
Right.
But that's all it was. It was just a
Because
repository.
that Facebook group, Steve, that's the Facebook group that called the shots from.
But
Okay,
except
that's
that,
what that.
but anybody can go see what I wrote in there. And so funny because it never got TOS. Facebook had no problem with it. It was just basically, and we even
Yeah,
said, I even said,
I
look,
believe Tina took it down. I believe Tina did. Yeah.
yeah, she did quite some time ago. But
Hmm.
I even said in there, look, if you have something, it needs to have evidence, just like my channel. Period. There's no accusations.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll read the quote unquote cult leader post real quick. That Uni says this is undeniable proof that you are a cult leader. Okay. So due to continual threats to me, my friends, and other people, it is highly recommended for your own safety that you do not release any personal information about yourself that could be used against you. Right. So that
Pretty
was one of
wise.
them.
That's wise,
And
I think.
then here's the one that really got
Well,
it going.
let me ask you before you ask the next question. How is that not good sage advice?
Well, the people we deal with are dangerous.
They
Let me
are.
make that perfectly clear, dangerous. Now, who are you referring to when you say the people you deal with are dangerous?
Katie and her army troll at the time that was trying to take down content creators by trying to mass flag them, which she was looking for trolls to do.
Okay. All right,
And
so
harass them and make fake accounts. And I'm not saying Katie was making fake accounts, but there's sure the hell a lot of fake accounts out there. How many times do people make fake accounts of me? A lot. Right? I have had people. I had to literally report. I had to report to YouTube impersonation multiple times. Impersonation,
Right.
not just parody accounts. I don't give a shit about those. People actually pretending to be me.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous.
The next one says, I have seen the bare naked, unadulterated, morally reprehensible, repugnant, sociopathic face of evil today, and thy name is Katie Joy.
I'm good with words.
Thy name. Now, I have owned thy nasty, right? So if it's the thy that makes us cult leaders, I can see, or makes us culty, I can see where this comes from. But that, I mean, it's, hold on, what's the rest? Where did it go? Hold on. The rest is funny. Hold on. I can't, where did it go?
I don't think anybody understands what a cult leader does. These are just warnings for people to make sure that they don't put out personal information that they can use against them, because there's some toxic shit out there.
I can't release the screenshots yet, but when they are soon, you will know pure evil in capital letters. Rah ha ha ha.
I was going to show you this before we went on stream, but of course you were busy. But when I first saw those screenshots, I literally was like, "Fucking no way! Fuck no way! Fuck me no way!" I mean, I was typing this out. I mean, I have this in, and I'm like, I was mortified. I was like, I was in shock. I could not believe what I was reading. That's when I wrote that.
Okay, so Donut, worry, be happy. Very cute. I love that name. I'm confused why Uni's camp says Steve lied about having an NDA. Was the NDA a secret?
No, the NDA was not a secret. And I did not lie about it.
You just haven't released it, correct?
No, I released it a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the NDA was not a secret. Anybody can know about the NDA. What Uni Rock asked me was, he said, I wanted the NDA, and I sent my lawyer over to her lawyer to get the NDA. That's not what happened. Matter of fact, those things that you're going to read later on are my correspondences with my lawyer. You'll see that is absolutely not true. Matter of fact, I sent you the original NDA, and then the modification, which added in the defamation and the defaming. That was their group. That was their side that wanted that in there. They were not going to let that. They wanted that in there, and I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I want this. I said, I want 3 months, and I sent you the screenshots for that. 3 months termination. They want to go for that. They wanted indefinite. I was like, oh, hell no. And then it got down to where she was having an additional lawsuit against Sherelle and I. And I said, well, how about a year then, basically? And so we settled on a year. But if you notice the correspondence with me and my lawyer had said that her lawyer did not want Katie going to court, and that basically they wanted me not to say anything, period. And I said, no, that's going to be a violation of my free speech. I want it in there that I'm perfectly fine to do commentary on things that she puts out of there that's incorrect. And you'll see the differences in the emails that I sent you, that's in there, that they changed that. It was originally not to talk about Katie at all. I was like, that's not going to happen. Even though it did, I didn't talk about her at all, but I wanted to have the ability to, just in case I wanted
Yeah,
to,
just I see chat going wild. He did send me these things like literally right before we came on, a little while before. I have not had time to look at them. Please understand that.
Do you
So
mind?
why
Do you
did
mind if I say this?
go
I
ahead?
know that because I know how busy you are. If there's somebody
I'm
who's
usually
listening,
not this busy,
yeah, I know.
honestly.
I know. Look, I could put this on my channel, and I'm happy to do so. And I probably I'm going to at some point. I was going to put it on my blog 3, my part 3, right?
Yep.
But that's going to take me some time to write.
Mm-hmm.
But I will also, if depending on the channel, whoever wants to have me on, to look over my emails with my attorney privately, and then talk about it publicly. I'm fine with that. But again, whoever wants to have me on, I just want an honest dialogue. That's it. Right. And so, like, this person says, why did Steve lie about the Indiana August stream? Steve's lying here. No, go listen to August stream. I have quote Uni Rock saying,
Can you be specific? I want to know what part you think he's lying about. If you're still
because Uni Rock said, he said, I wanted that NDA and I sent my lawyer over to Katie. He also said that I begged them for it and I prostrated myself, not on that particular video, but one of his videos. I prostrated myself to her or something. None of that actually happened. I have literally my lawyer saying that Katie didn't want to pursue the TRO. And I think I understand why, obviously. I mean, I'm convinced it's because her evidence didn't support her affidavit. I'm convinced of that, 100% convinced of that.
Yeah, I think you probably people are saying just release them, like so I let's see. I get the impression this is the biggest problem people have with you. To be fair, he sent me proof, didn't have time to look at it. I want you people to understand that in the chat. Steve is an OG. He can Steve's an OG. Can he please define what is doxing, as does he take it serious? And do you take doxing seriously as a creator? I mean, well, if you don't show screenshots from personal DMs, I would hope so.
Yeah, doxing is where you take personal information, and for example, like I don't know much about you. I don't even know what state you're in. Let's say that you keep that private, right? But I try to find your personal information so I can make it public. Public information is not doxing, and I even put this in the Facebook group, right? If I have a company, that information is not doxing, but people have weaponized that term, that anything you do is doxing. Now, do I think it's bad form?
If it's malicious intent, if people throw it in your face with malicious
intent, bad form.
That's the definition of it. That's the definition.
No, not necessarily. I mean, my name's Steve.
It's the definition. It is.
If somebody says, definition of it. If somebody says, hey, I'm doxing Steve by telling people Steve's name, that's not doxing. It's public information, right?
But that's already out there. Like, for example, we have a huge debate. We have a huge divide. And I know we're running over an hour here, but listen, we have a huge divide. So are you saying that, now, you know I don't like Katie. Are you saying that because her R report was, people were able to obtain that should be public information?
You're talking about the R report? I thought you were talking about her, what was in her thing. I told Aaron I didn't agree with her decision to do that. The reason being is because I know that Katie would weaponize it. However, Katie is a public figure. That is public information. If it's public information, then it is what it is. I wouldn't do it myself, though.
Okay.
I've never done a background check on anybody. I don't go looking for, besides Kyle, I've looked for things. But other than Kyle, I don't go around looking for things for people.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are really going to agree on doxing because I go by the literal definition. Like, when you release someone's information with malicious intent, right? Like, for example, like Charlotte, for example. Well, her real name was on her, PayPal or whatever. Yeah, but she didn't give the real name out. So
I see what you're saying. If it's not common stuff, right? I mean, people, you have to use some common sense. If like, my information is public, right? So if somebody says, hey, this is Steve's information, it's not doxing me because I made it public. But if I never said to anybody, hey, I want this out there, I want to keep it private, that is doxing, yes.
Even like my real name. Like, if someone were to roll up and be like, yeah, I'm going to tell everybody your real first name, like, that'd be doxing. I've never come out on this channel.
Yeah, I think intent matters. I do. Yeah. But I also, like I said, I don't think it's bad form, even if it's public information, right? Katie. I'm
so glad we agree on that.
Katie said that I put out
a hot button issue.
No, I agree with you on that. Katie said that I put out her information. I never did, not once.
Listen,
in that Facebook group,
blonde.
It was other people that had talked about it, but I even looked, and if you look in the evidence, I even said, don't be doing this. Why? Because she's going to use it as a weapon, right?
It's not okay. And the sooner that we get this across to this community that it's not okay to
Absolutely.
do that, the better.
It's just
There are
it's bad
some
form.
people,
Even still, don't do it. Stop diving into
the
people's personal
Charlotte thing.
shit.
Whoa, Disney Me Blind. Stop. Pump the brakes. It was doxing. If Charlotte is not the one to tell you, it is doxing. It is literally the definition of it. We will never agree.
I don't know.
That,
I don't know much
ever,
about Charlotte either. I don't think I've ever watched one of her videos.
Charlotte.
I don't think I literally. I don't seriously. I don't think I've watched. And we're going to go obviously a few minutes over, and that's fine. I don't think I've ever watched Charlotte videos, so I don't know anything about her or what that doxing thing was even about. So
see, poor Charlotte. So Charlotte and I, well, basically Charlotte was the first to have a a inkling that maybe Nat was involved, and as soon as she said that, her whole life went up in flames. Literally, people were like, "How dare you?" Then she got doxxed. Somebody was posting, an old mugshot, and like it was just madness. Like, and all she was doing was trying to get to the truth. So, I mean, it's just insane.
All right, let me ask you this then: why is it that Katie has put out people's full names that do not have that information out there, and yet nobody's going after her for look, you've doxed? And she does it frequently. She does it frequently.
She does. People go after her, Steve.
Look,
I think we both
know that. Look, I'm the kind of person, and accidents do happen on YouTube. I mean, look, we're all YouTubers. We put things out there. I have a public thing for Kyle's assault. I mean, not assault, his arrest, right? That's his information's on there. I accidentally showed it, and you know what I did? I blurred it out. Even though anybody can go look it up, right? They can go in the public record and find it, but I blurred it out. I don't want that information even there, right? So it can happen. You can accidentally show shit, but what you do is you fix it. And what I see happening is people actively going out of their way to go, oh, look, Cheshire was doxxed, Tina was doxxed. And this was active. This was purposefully. This was not, an accident. This was maliciously. And yet they're talking about other people doxing things. I mean, that's just absurd.
So Lisa, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry if I'm missing super chats. Like, I'm really trying here to catch them. AZ, great job. Was the TRO elevated to an RO, Steve?
No. TRO is a preliminary injunction. It's pretty well safety measure, and it should be, right? It should be for protection, right? It only becomes an RO, which is called a Bose injunction, after what's called an HOO hearing, or if somebody doesn't ask for one. Now, Katie actually said she obtained a 2-year RO. That never happened. It was a 2-week TRO. Within the 14-day period, which I sent numerous people this information, I requested a hearing, and I wanted to fight it. Matter of fact, the links that I showed you, I sent to you, they're extensive. I have one of my Google documents is 78 pages of evidence that I was going to bring to the court. 78 pages of evidence. Why would I want an NDA? And kind of make it all, dismiss it if I didn't want to fight it. I wanted to fight it, but they didn't want that. She didn't want to have it in there. She wanted the defamation thing more than the restraining order. I mean, It just makes no sense for me to go, I'm begging for a non-disclosure agreement and do whatever to capitulate when I spent days doing those Google Docs and showing my evidence meticulously. Here's the claim. Here's my evidence. Here's the exculpatory evidence.
From what I sifted through briefly, it seemed like you had a lot of it in order and pretty organized. So, I'm really looking forward to looking at it.
So riddle me this, people. Why would I be the one going to her attorney saying, hey, look, make this go away? I wanted to fight it. I wanted my day in court.
Sergeant Hatred, thank you. That's how they got Uni's real name, PayPal, and Steve uses it. Do you use?
I use Jason.
Uni's real name?
Yeah, because he says his real name. He said his real name numerous times. He's talking about that in video. You can't say, "Look, my name is Jason," and then get pissed off people are using the word Jason. That's not doxing.
Okay. I didn't know he said it like that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Golden Unicorn, technical language alert. Okay. Whatever that. What does that mean?
I think preliminary injunction, post injunction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So I know we have to wrap this up soon here. Listen, do you think that Katie is trying to make you the bad guy and point and pin everything on you and make you, the person that she can blame? Do you
Absolutely,
think that is?
But I'm not the only one. She's doing that to everybody. Anybody gets in her way.
Are you confident that she will not succeed in making sure you are prosecuted with these claims?
1,000%.
1,000. All right. Okay.
I mean, first of all, to
She's
prosecute
probably
somebody,
losing her mind
you
right
need
now.
evidence. I'm willing to show you all my correspondence with my attorney. That's pretty impressive.
Flip your desk over. Katie,
right?
Did you just flip your desk over? I think
so
she might
where's
have
the evidence? Again, people don't seem to understand. In order to be prosecuted, you need evidence. I literally have spent 2 years to get Kyle to have an arrest warrant. 2 years it took me to get that. It is not freaking easy.
Yeah,
right?
I've had a friend have a hard time getting a TRO before too. So when people say there must have been evidence, I go, well, yeah, there must have been, because it's hard to get. It depends on the state. It does.
Well, when you put in she put in her affidavit, she had death threats 4 times. She never, in her actual evidence, showed any evidence of a death threat. The only thing she ever showed was one. Was one thing relating to a Navy friend of mine that I had on my show that I've known for 30 years, talking about how they used to wake him up if he overslept by racking a 45 in his ear. She put that in the evidence as a death threat to her.
Okay, so Donna says there was evidence. What was the evidence?
Because I address evidence. If there's evidence, show me. I will be happy to address it. Absolutely.
Okay, Steve.
What was the evidence?
Do you have any closing thoughts that you want people to know about you, that you want to just put out there before we end this?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is this. I put a lot of this past me a long time ago. I was trying to focus on Kyle's case, right? I have a litigation that I'm trying to resolve. It's probably going to be around approximately $140,000 to $150,000 judgment when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I read about it in Forbes, actually.
Yeah, and by the way, that guy that wrote that article has paid me $100 bet. We bet that Kyle would be that they would have criminal charges against him by, I think it was January 31st, 2022. He lost that bet, and he did pay me.
Well, that's a good guy that he stuck to his
But here's the thing that people may not know. Kyle also is looking at additional charges for perjury, possibly embezzlement, submission of altered evidence, because he submitted altered bank records to the court that he forged. And what was the other thing that they were? It was perjury.
I was really surprised when I Googled your name and I saw the Forbes thing come up. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this made it into Forbes. I feel like
it's a big thing. But like I said, the guy that wrote that, he initially had some misconceptions, but he was very honorable, and he saw the evidence. He told me straight up, I go by the evidence.
Something funny. So it was like, I've never seen two men fight over something so little that turned out to be so much more money than, what the initial argument was, which was pretty interesting. So let's see here. Does anybody, all right, one more question in the comments, if you don't mind, Steve. Does anybody have any last minute questions before we end this? Anybody? That's something we haven't talked about, something we have not talked about, please.
I would love, though, if you put my blog in the video script. Again, I don't give a shit if people come onto my channel or not. No offense to your audience. Most of them, the people have already blocked.
No, right? I will link your channel. I will.
I'm not here to make subs for my channel. I want the information out
I'm not
there.
like that.
Okay.
But
my blog is my thing.
So do you know Waxy, Belinda?
I've never heard of her.
My friend Belinda Paul. Hi, Belinda. Blowing you kisses, Belinda Paul. She hates me.
I had never heard of Waxy until Llama Girl put some video clips out there. And I still don't know who this Waxy person is. There's another person that I hang out to that I didn't know. I was sipping Willow Tree or something. Is that name?
Yes, that was Jennifer. Yep.
I don't know her either.
Tree. Oh, okay.
So if Waxy or Sip know who I am, I'd like to know how, because I don't recall ever having any conversations with either one of them.
I'm sorry. I see someone in here like, oh, F my super chat. I'm sorry. I don't know what it was. I'm so sorry. I'm really not.
It's hard to keep up. And by the way, I'm very thankful that you're making something out here.
I've never had this many people in my chat before, ever.
And this is why people say, oh, Steve's a cult leader. My name, for some reason, brings in the groups. I don't know why. Look at how many times Uni Rock has put my name in his videos. I don't put his name in mine. I think I have 3 maybe that his name's in there over the last how many years?
Just landed.
His name don't bring in crap.
Thank you, Just Landed. I appreciate that. Wings and things. Okay. I'm sorry to whoever I missed. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I didn't mean to do it. It's just I've never had this many people, and I'm just doing what I can here, okay? So, Steve, I'm glad you came on. I know there's probably a million billion more questions out there in the world that people are just dying to know. But, my kid's sick. You have an hour. We all gotta go here. Do you ever plan on talking to Uni before we end this?
No. Well, I don't say that. Look, I'll tell you this. If I ever talk to Uni, it's going to be on my terms. Because I know it pisses him off. It really pisses him off, and that's fine. He's a horrible, disgusting person. I mean, there are becoming things out that I cannot really go into right now of things that he has put out on Twitter that are so morbidly egregious to the point
Mm-hmm.
of I don't even consider him a human being at this point. He is subhuman. The things that he has talked about using the death of one of my friends as a weapon is beyond reprehensible, and so that's a big thing with that. That unfortunately, it hurts a lot to talk about. People may
Right.
know that my producer is no longer with us, and he knows that gets to me. He's using that as a weapon. That's all you need to know about Uni. When
Wow.
you're using the death of one of one of the people that I love, I mean I loved my producer. That's all you need
Wow.
to know about.
I didn't know that. I've never
Yeah,
heard that. That
my
would be
producer
awful
passed
if.
away. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry to hear
yeah.
that. I've never heard Uni do that. That's pretty
He,
awful.
he
That's.
on Twitter. It's on Twitter.
Oh, Uni. Easy mods, thank you. All right, Steve. Like I said, I would have more time to look at what you sent me. I will definitely.
Yeah, we can schedule
Oh,
R2 later on or something. I'm going to probably go to my
okay.
channel with my cult group, I guess you could say, or whatever it is, and
Okay.
I'm going to let
Go
them
pour
bitch
your
at me.
Kool-Aid. I'm
Yeah,
a little upset you didn't bring any Kool-Aid, but whatever. Next
well,
time.
I only drink spiked Kool-Aid, but yeah, they're going to probably bitch at me for this, so
Whatever.
I'm going to
I'm
probably
about to get all
stream
kinds of
tonight.
hell too, so we'll both just have the world mad.
Let
I
it burn.
I
Let the
just
world
let it
burn.
burn. Let it burn. No, really though, I really think that this has blown up onto levels that make me question everything. And if anybody has a problem with me questioning everything, well, hey, guess we ain't the same. All right, Steve, thank you for
Good
coming
night.
on.
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
very much
link
for.
your
Yep.
blog channel, all that stuff after, and I appreciate it. And tell your little sister wives I said hello.
I will do that because they love you.
I know
Not.
they do. Hey, girls.
All
All
right. Good
right,
night.
bye, Steve. Thank you. All right, everybody. Sorry if anybody's disappointed that I didn't, put him under the hot lights and interrogate him, but not my place, okay? I still have a list of 25 more questions that I didn't get to, but hey, it's all right. I like I said, I want to like Uni. I do. I think he's an oddball. I like oddball. I like busy. I mean, I don't have a problem. I just want the answers to all of this. I think we all do. Um, all right, guys. So that's really it. If I missed anybody's super chats, it's just because I'm a jerk and I can't keep up, alright? So thank you to my moderators. I appreciate everything you guys do. I know this must have been a difficult one, but thank you guys, alright? Thanks for coming through either way. Whether you love me or you hate me, you're still here. Bye.